Oceanicon, Wade Blevins, Dabaton, Telegatino, Unole, Dawaton, Galele, Negotic, Doko Hig. Welcome, everyone. My name is Wade Blevins, and I'm glad that everyone is here. Kohig, Talskohine, Jalagia de lo Quaste, Talskohine, 20th. This is the 20th Cherokee lesson. So you've hung out with us this long, and hopefully, I apologize, hopefully you're finding some of this information to be helpful to you. So come, idalena jalagi idiwoni. Let's go ahead and begin. Let's talk Cherokee, okay? So, our reading selection today is kind of a different one, but it's one that Peggy and I had translated actually a couple of years ago, and we just never used it. We never put it into use, and so I started looking back through it, and I think this one would be a good one to use because it's got some great information in it. It's got good vocabulary. It's got a lot of different words for different animals, and so that's one of the reasons why I thought it would be good, because some of the names of plants and animals and things like that are kind of being lost because, of course, we don't live in as close contact with nature as we once did, and so even our knowledge of the different species of animals and things like that, or the different kinds of plants, even in English, is starting to diminish. So, it's, I think, good that we bring some of these back, even myself, you know, and for even first language speakers, you know, unless it was just something that they really had a lot of intimate connection with. Some of the names of the different, for example, the different names for the different kinds of frogs can sometimes, you know, be confusing or things like that, or the different kinds of birds. So, so we're going to go ahead and let's try to read our way through this. I apologize today. I have a little bit of a cough. Not sure what happened with all of that. That came up last night. So anyway, so let's do our best to read. We'll go slow, and then we'll try to see and figure out what this says. So based on the picture, probably the word robin is probably in there somewhere. So this says ga go ji squo guo u cl a ya u da ne ji squa ya gal jat di ale ga tli da a gwen ta na ji squo guo ji cl. Okay. So let's take it one line at a time, okay? So it says ga go. In conversational Cherokee, a lot of times we would say gog, gog. We know that there's a question here. So gog, who? Ji squo guo, ji squo guo. That's a robin. And of course, you can recognize the male robins because they have this big red chest feathers. They're nice and red. So this is a male here. So gog, chi squaw go, utla. That's killed. He killed, okay? So who killed the robin? Okay, gog, chi squaw go, utla. Who killed the robin? Ya. Udane chi squaw. Okay? Ya. Me. Udane said chi squaw. Chi squaw. Okay, if you notice, if you may know this word, G squaw. G squaw. That's a word for a bird. And G squaw means the birdiest bird that ever did bird. That yaw at the end makes it kind of like the original bird or the true bird. Remember, if you remember back, we did some conversations, or we had a talk about that yaw. For example, ayawiya, the name for a Native American person. It really means to be fully human. Okay, he is fully human. Yawi is a human being or a person. Ya, to make it fully that thing. So ayawiya, a full human being, otherwise known as a Native American. We also talked about that word saloli. Saloli. That's the word for a squirrel. Saloliya, saloliya. The true squirrel, right, or the fully squirrel, right? And of course, that's our word for a gray squirrel. And so here we have G squaw, okay, G squaw, okay, and that means the bird that's fully bird, like the true bird, right? The real bird. G squaw. And that is a sparrow. That's the word for sparrow, G squaw. And I think probably they named it that. A lot of bird names come from the sounds that they make. For example, gu que. That's the sound that a quail makes. In English, we'll call it Bob White, because in English that's what we think it sounds like. In Cherokee, they call it gu que. Okay? And then, so this G squaw, I think because probably the most common bird that anyone ever sees is a sparrow. You know, that's the most common bird anywhere, and it's a very ubiquitous bird, I think. So they refer to it as G squaw, the true bird or the real bird. Okay? And then the next one, galjati. Ale gatlida agwatan. So galjati, that's the bow, a bow, galjati, ale, and gatlida, that's the arrow. Agwatana. I made it that way, or I did it. I did it with a bow and arrow. Okay, agwatana. And so I think this word right here, this ga tli da, I think that's an interesting word, and next time Miss Peggy is here, I would like to ask her about that word, because to me, when I hear that, it reminds me of the word "godly," "godly," huh? "Godly," the word for flying, right? And of course, what does an arrow do? It flies, right? So I wonder if that word for arrow is related to the word for flying, "godlid" or "godlidan," "agwatana," and then "g squo guo g tl." Okay, now let's see if you can figure out what "g tl" means in this sentence. So we have the word "utl" here. "Utl," he or she killed something. That "tl." And this time we have "g-tl," "g-tl." So it's the same root, but the subject or the the person doing the action has changed. "Utl," he or she, "g-tl," I killed. "G-tl," I killed G-squoggle. G-squoggle, G-tl. I killed the sparrow. Okay? So let's read through it again. And you can try and read along with me. Gog, G-squoggle, U-tl. Aya, U-dane, G-squayan. Gal, Ja-di, Ale, Ga, Tli-da. Agwatana, agwatana, G-squoggle, G-tl. Okay, let's read it one more time. The more we do it, the better we get at it, right? Ga go, G-squoggle, U-tl. Aya, U-dane, G-squayan. Ga Ja-di, Ale, Ga, Tli-da. Agwatana, G-squoggle, G-tl. Okay? So this is, who killed the robin? I did, said the sparrow, using with my bow and arrow, I killed the robin. So this, some of you may recognize this as a nursery rhyme. Is a very, very common nursery rhyme. It's an English nursery rhyme, Who Killed Cock Robin? And of course, me being the big, huge nerd that I am, I wanted to do some research on where that nursery rhyme came from, because if you've ever done any research into nursery rhymes, a lot of times they go back to events in history or things like that, and they're just these little rhymes to remind people about what happened in history. For example, Mary, Mary, quite contrary, how does your garden grow? You know, that one is supposedly about Mary, Queen of Scots. So anyway, so I did some research into this one, and as near as I can tell, no one really knows what it was for or what it was meant to be. But it was first published in, I believe, the 1700s, but they believe that it was actually because the basic storyline follows very closely something that was written or that was written down in the 1500s. So it's been around a long, long time. It's been around, you know, around between 300 and 500 years. So it's a very old little story. So every now and then we'll come back to it and we'll read we'll do a little bit more of it so you can learn. I think this one is a really good paragraph because you've learned the word for killing something. You learned the word for bow and arrow. You learned the word for robin and sparrow. So I think almost every word in this, is beneficial to you and fairly common. So, what we're going to do, as you know, we finished our story. We finished what we were working on previously, and about the possum, the informational paragraph. We're going to go on and we're going to do some more informational reading. And this one is very appropriate for when this was filmed. Of course, when you're watching this, I have no idea. But we're filming this in the month of July. And July is a very important month for many, 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 many Oklahoma Cherokee people. And we'll look at the reason why. So, all right. So let's go ahead and get into it. So, let's see if you can read this. I'll give you just a couple seconds to read your way through this. A lot of what we're going to do today is actually kind of review. So a lot of it should feel familiar to you. Hopefully you can recognize a lot of it and really understand. So, I see I have a spelling error in here, but we'll get to there when we get there. Okay, so this says, Hioligis hia askaya ayetli jigadog. Okay, Hioligis hia askai ayetli jigadog, or you could say Hioligis hia askaya ayetli jigadoga. Okay. Again, there's a difference between spoken Cherokee and written Cherokee. For example, the word jigadog, we don't have a syllabary character just for g sound, right? So to spell it, we say jigadoga. But a lot of times in modern spoken Cherokee, if it's the present tense, we tend to leave that last sound off, that ah sound. And so we just say, instead of jigadoga, we say jigadog. Okay? So, Hioligis, hia askaya yetli jigadog. Can you translate this for me? Do you know what this means? Hioligis, do you know? Okay, not do you know facts, but do you recognize, do you know a person? That's what hioligis means. You hear this a lot, or at least I hear this a lot around speakers and stuff when we're in groups and we're in meetings and things like that. We'll be talking about people and or talking about different situations or different scenarios, and maybe somebody is speaking and we'll turn to each other and they'll say, oh, hey, Olegish, do you know them? Right? And you say, Geolig, or Geolig, I don't know them. So, Hioligis, it's a very, very good word for you to know. This, okay, Askaya, Askai, man, Ayetli. You might know this word to mean like Amayetli or Ayetli can mean half or in the middle. And it can also mean nation, like Jalagi Ayetle, Cherokee Nation, right? So Ayetle, in this case, it means in the middle. Chikatog, that he is standing, okay? So in English, we would say, do you know this man who is standing in the middle, okay? Of course, we're referring to this picture right here, and he askaya ayetli chikadog. Remember that G sound means who or that. So chikadog, that's standing. He yoligis, he askaya ayetli chikadog. Okay, do you know this man standing in the middle? Of course, the English, it just says, do you know the man in the center? But in Cherokee, we can't just, say, do you know the man in the middle? You know, we would say, you know, that's standing there, that's sitting there, that's, you know, you kind of have to have a verb in there somewhere. And so we would say, you know, do you know the man who's standing in the center, right? Okay. 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 Hiyo lika nige sena yiki. Redbird Smith do don't eh. Okay. Hiyo lig nige sen yiki. Okay. So let's look at this first part. He yo lega negation yiki. Probably a lot of fluent speakers would say hiole negation yik. Okay. Hiolig is, or hiolega is, you know, negation yiki is like it makes it a negative. Negation is like never or don't. Yig would be like if in this case. And so this would be like if you don't know him. If you don't know him, hiolega negation yik. Redbird Smith do don't eh. Okay, Redbird Smith do don't eh. Okay, you should know that do don't eh. Okay, do don't eh. Do don't eh was his name. Okay, so if you don't know him already, Redbird Smith was his name. All right, let's go ahead and read it again. He oleka negashana yiki. Redbird Smith do don't eh. Do don't eh. Okay. And of course, that eh sound is the habitual past, right? Because his name wasn't Redbird Smith just one time. We're talking about that was his name, right? That was his name always, you know, every day. Okay. This one, this is do ju wa. Okay, do ju wa. We would say to ju hua, to ju hua. Si qua ni da. Si qua need, to ju hua, si qua need. do, don't, za, la, gi, gun, di. Okay? Told you what sequence do, don't, za, la, gi, gun, di. Okay, this should be a really easy one for you, except for maybe the very first part. Tojuhua, it's another bird name, redbird. This is the name for a redbird or a cardinal. Okay, sequanid. Sequanid is a contraction of two words, sequa, which you should know, and anid, which actually also you should know. Sequanid means young pig, okay? Young pig, sequanid, do, don't, okay, was his name, Jalakikante, in Cherokee. So his name was Redbird, Young Pig in Cherokee. Tojuhua, sequanid, do, don't, Jalakikante. Tojuhua, sequanid, do, don't, Jalakikante. Okay. Si da o ja li he li ga he ina ju li ske da all skaya. Okay. So this might be a little more difficult. Si da, still, o jali he liga, still we celebrate, okay? Still we are thankful to him, we're happy, we celebrate. He ina, this here, jul skeda, important, skaya. This man that's important, okay? So, Sida, still, o jali he liga, we are grateful. He ina juskeda askai, this man who is important, okay? Sida, o jali he liga, he ina juskeda askaya. We're still grateful to this important man. Okay. This one says, Sagu iyagayol chanel skohitsku. Okay. Chanel skohitsku. Hig skohi. Udene tojuhwa sequanid. All right. Sagu. One. Iyagayol. 1,000. 1,000. Chanel skohitsku. 800. Hig skohi. 50. So that's a whole number. Sagu iyagayol chanel skoitsku hig skohi. Okay, 1,850, or 1850 is what we would normally say today. Sagu iyagayol chanel skoitsku hig skohi. Udene. Do you know what that word is? Udene. Born. Told you was sequanid. Okay, so Tojua Sequanid was born. Saguyagayel Chanel Skuhig Skohi. He was born in 1850. All right? So that's that one there. So most of this is review for you. These sentences are very, very short. And so because of that, a lot of these words, hopefully you by now you kind of recognize some of them and you kind of know some of them. And if you don't, that's perfectly fine. Don't worry about it. It's not a big deal. As I always say, I believe that we acquire the vocabulary when we're ready for it. And so even though you may have been exposed to some of these words before, they may not have stuck in your head. But being exposed to them over and over again in different contexts and different sentences will help you know. And then one of these days when your brain is ready for it, it'll be there. Okay? So what I would like to do now is I'm going to pull out some individual words, and we'll see if you can tell me what they are, okay? So we're going to go back to the beginning. This says, I'll read each of these for you. It says, He yoligis, he askaya ayetli jikatog. Okay? He yoligis, he askaya ayetli jikatog. So first, I'll ask you in Cherokee. You tell me in English, okay? So what about Gadohyat? Gadohyat askaya. Gadohyat askaya. Yonegigante. Gadohyat askaya. Man. Gadohyat hioligis. Gadohyat hioligis. Hioligis. Do you know or do you recognize? Ayetli. Gadohyat ayetli. Gadohyat ayetli. In the middle or the center can also mean half. Chikatog. Chikatog. Gadohyat. Chikatog. Okay. Who is standing or that is standing? Okay, that G sound in the beginning means who or that. Katog, he or she is standing. Okay, chikatog. He a. Gadohyat, he a. This. Okay, now let's make it a little more difficult. Okay, why don't I give you the English and you tell me, see if you can figure out which one of those words it is. Okay, so tell me. So tell me how you say half or in the middle or center. Okay, you have 5 words to choose from. Ayetli. How do you say, do you know? Do you know? Or do you recognize? Hioligis. How do you say this? How do you say this? He a. How do you say who is standing or that is standing? Chikatog. Chikatog. How do you say man? Man. Askaya. Askaya. Very good. Hopefully you didn't find that too difficult. Let's try the next one. I'll read it for you first. Hiole ka nege sanyik. Redbird Smith do don't eh. Okay. Hiole ka nege sanyik. Redbird Smith do don't eh. Okay, so this one's a little more difficult to translate word for word. So let's do his name, or Gadohyat, Hiolega Negesanyik, Hiole Negesanyik, Gadohyat, Hioleg Negesanyik. If you don't know him, Gadohyat do don't eh, do don't eh, do don't eh. He was named. Okay, his name was. His name was. Okay? So now, let's make it a little more difficult. And let's see if you can do the Cherokee. So if you don't know him, or if you don't recognize him, if you don't know him, or if you don't recognize him, Hiolega Negesanyik. Hioleg Negesanyik. His name was. His name was. His name was. Do don't eh. Do don't eh. Do don't eh. Okay, so that one was a little more difficult, just because it was hard to really translate that one word for word. Okay? Okay, I'll read this one to you. Toju hua si kwanid du don't eh jalaki ga de. Toju hua si kwanid du don't eh jalaki ga de. Okay, Gadohyat jalaki. Gadohyat jalaki. Gadohyat jalaki. Hopefully you know that one by now. Cherokee. Gadohyat gati. Gadohyat gati. 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 That means using or by means of. Gati. Gadohyat do don't eh. Gadohyat do don't eh. Gadohyat do don't eh. Was his name. Was his name. Gadohyat Sequanid. Gadohyat Sequanid. Sequanid. Young pig. Gadohyat Tojuwa. Tojuwa. Gadohyat Toju Hua, or Toju, 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 Toju Hua. Redbird, or cardinal. Okay, let's see if we can flip that around and do it the other way. So, how do you say was his name, or his name was? Was his name, or his name was? Do, don't, eh? Do, don't, eh? How do you say redbird or cardinal? Redbird or cardinal? Toju Hua. Toju Hua. How do you say by means of or using? By means of or using. Ganti, ganti. How do you say young pig? Young pig. Young pig. Sequined, sequined, or sequinido. And how do you say Cherokee? Cherokee. Jalaki. Jalaki. Excellent. Good job. Okay. I'll read this one to you. This says, Sida ojali helig hiina jusketa askaya. Sida ojali helig hiina jusked askai. Sida ojali helig hiina juskeda askai. Jusked askai. Or jusked askaya. Okay, so gedohyat askai, gedohyat askai, gedohyat askai, man. Gedohyat sida, gedohyat sida, still, still. Gedohyat julsked, gedohyat julsked. Who is important, or that's important, okay? You can't just say that is important, but, you know, julsked, the one that is important, right? Gedohyat hiina, gedohyat hiina. And this, or and what about this? Gedohyat ojali heliga, ojali heliga. We, okay? Okay, so how do you say this here, or and this? Hiina. How do you say man? Askai or askaya. How do you say who is important, or that's important? Julsked, julsked. How do you say we are grateful? We are grateful, or we're happy, or we're thankful. Ojali helig, ojali heliga. How do you say still? Still yet. Sida, sida. Okay, last one. I'll read it to you. Sagu iyagayul chanel skoetsko hig skohi ude ne toju wasikwanid. Okay, one of our longer sentences, but you should be able to make your way through this. Let's try it. Gedohyat tojuhwa. Gedohyat tojuhwa. Tojuhwa. Redbird. Gedohyat sagu. Gedohyat sagu. 1. Gedohyat udene. 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 He was born. Gedohyat higskohi. Higskohi. 50. Gedohyat iyagayul. Iyagayul. 1,000. Gedohyat sikwanid. Sikwanid. Young pig. Gedohyat chanel skoit squo. Chanel skoit squo. 800. All right, let's try it the other way around. So what about he was born? He was born. Udene. 50. 50. Higskohi. 1. 1. Sagwo. How about young pig? Young pig. Sikwanid. What about 800? 800. Chanel skoetsko. Chanel skoetsko. What about redbird or cardinal? Tojuwa. And what about 1,000 or 1,000? Iyagayul. Iyagayul. All right. So that does bring us to the end of the time that we have today. Hopefully you found this to be very beneficial. Hopefully some of it was already familiar to you. So when we come back, we will continue to talk about Tojuwa Sikwanid. He was a very important person in Cherokee culture. And so I just want to say from all of us here at RSU TV and Cherokee Nation, I just want to say Wadon and Dondago Ha'i.